Hey, I tried to make another video before I went to my second class, but my computer died on me, unfortunately. I was in the middle of talking and it just died on me because the battery was dead. And it did give me fair warning, but I wasn't about to just get up in the middle of making a video, and go plug in my computer. And I wound up actually having to rush to get to class, and then I had a class like pretty much right after. So I'm just gonna try to remake this video. Hopefully this time I don't get cut off like partway through. I realized that I didn't give an update about like I think it was the last video I made last time, and where I was talking about how my Department of Human Services case manager had called me and didn't leave a message, and I didn't know what it was about. Apparently they just needed paperwork, because the paperwork that I had my mom submit, they were like, well, like this doesn't match what you had given us before. So I haven't heard anything about that, so I'm assuming that that's taken care of. And then for trying to get help on campus, the place that I was trying to go through, they're like, oh, they gave me a call Friday before last when I was in the doctor's office, actually, and they're like, well, you had said that you wanted longer term help, so we don't think that it would be helpful for you to see someone here, so we'll give you resources to low cost or free help in the community. And one of them is like there's a counseling clinic on campus, but it's run by grad students, so I would, like, if I were to go there, I would be working with a graduate student. What I don't like about that is, first off, grad students, and I understand, like, obviously if you're just starting off, you don't necessarily have a lot of experience, but they don't have a lot of experience, and I personally don't, like, I feel like I need to have someone to talk to who understands and has worked with clients who have struggled with similar issues, or maybe even have personal experience with it, or both. Partially just because the first therapist I saw on a regular basis, she flat out had no experience, obviously had no experience with self-injurers, working with self-injurers. And she tried to strong-arm me into stopping, didn't help me look at what purpose it was serving for me, or what was leading me to do that. She just expected me to be able to stop. She didn't even help me work on, better coping mechanisms or anything. It was just, I don't like that, stop, kind of a thing. She didn't blatantly say that, but her actions spoke louder than her words. Going and pretty much every session asking if I had hurt myself, and then turning around to tell my mom at the end of the session, which, I mean, I was a minor at the time, but even still, I couldn't trust her, I didn't trust her, and I got pretty much nothing good or useful out of that relationship at all. And actually, the last therapist I saw, first off, she said that, even if she had seen me, when I was younger and I was still hurting myself, she wouldn't have told my mom, first off. And then, also, because of, me needing my mom to take me back and forth for therapy, I had her come back a few times to talk about, scheduling and stuff, or just to talk about, stuff in our relationship, and she pretty much always had this, look of, oh, fuck, what the hell did you do now? What's going on? What am I about to be told? Because she was so used to that happening with the first therapist I saw on a regular basis. So yeah, I don't want to work with someone who doesn't have experience. And then also for graduate students, for me, this is my third year of college, and probably in about a couple of years I will be in grad school, or I need to start looking at grad school, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not necessarily that much younger than the person I'd be working with, and I don't necessarily want someone who's a lot older than me, but I kind of feel like not always, but usually with age comes experiences, comes life experiences, even though you can be really young, or can be young and have experienced a lot. But that's just my take on it. And just like, that's kind of out of my comfort zone. So I'm not really gonna do anything. I don't think I'm gonna do anything with the list that they gave me. And I think at this point, I don't really want to, but I think I'm going to just wait until January and then try to find someplace else. Or like, maybe not wait till January to see where I can go, but just wait till January until I can actually go and have my insurance cover it. That is if I actually want to still get help, because of the whole issue with trying to get meds, and with my therapist pretty much, or my ex-therapist pretty much saying, oh, well, even if your insurance won't cover it, like, I'm not going to cancel on you for October and then cancel on me for October. It's kind of just like that, and all the negative experiences I've had trying to get help in the past 5 or 6 years, it's kind of just like, I mean, I know there are good people out there, there are helpful people out there, but it's just, do I really want to put myself through that? I don't know. Like, I desperately need and want to get better and to be able to, like, have a happy and productive life. I don't mean like happy sunshine, everything's perfect and yada yada yada, but I mean not feel so down and just like dark and all of that all the time, or the majority of the time. So I probably will wind up trying again to get help. It's just, I'm kind of not sold completely on the idea of that helping, which is kind of, if you think about it, ironic, since I want to be a therapist, but I'm not necessarily sure personally if that's really going to help me, like trying to get therapy and trying to see a psychiatrist. But yeah. Okay, now that I've talked about that, I wanted to talk about the fact that I hate this semester. I don't know. Like, I've talked to a few people who are just like, yeah, this semester needs to be over with already. Like, for whatever reason, my school decided to start August 31st. They usually start the first Wednesday of September, but they decided to start the last Wednesday / last day of August this year. So today is the 25th of October, so I'm about halfway through the semester, and pretty much, more or less from the get-go, I wanted it to be over with. So today I had to go to the library to print something out, and while I was there, I wanted to just look up like one class for next semester, and yeah, that didn't work out that way. I wound up spending about 2 hours in the library trying to figure out what classes I wanted to take for next semester, even though I can't actually register until, I believe, November 7th at like 7 p.m. But I already have my schedule sort of kind of figured out. And unfortunately, I was trying to avoid having classes early in the morning, but at least I don't have any 8 a.m. classes. The earliest is 9:30, which, like, last semester I had a 9:30 class, and it wasn't necessarily the greatest thing, because I'm not a morning person at all. Like, my sister, she can wake up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and be perfectly fine. If I were to try to do that, no, I don't even think anyone would be able to get me out of bed. Like, I think, not the last time, but the second to last time or something, that I spent the night at home, or maybe it was the last time, I don't know. She tried to get me to, it was the last time. She tried to get me to wake up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. She came into my room because my mom and my brother went out shopping, and she wanted to hang out with me. And she got really agitated with me because I wouldn't wake up, and I felt really bad, but it wasn't like I didn't want to hang out with her. It's just like I couldn't wake up. Like, it takes me a while to wake up, and yeah. Just because I have a tendency to not go to bed until kind of late / early, like past midnight. Yeah. But, alright, I wanted to, actually, I have my schedule kind of, yeah, I'll just say that, whatever. Actually, it's just the list of the classes, yeah, so far. Yeah. I actually was being weird and decided to put them in alphabetical order by the prefix. Yeah. I'm weird. Alright, so as of right now, for Mondays and Wednesdays, from 9:30 to 11:50. I'm planning on taking Introductory Experimental Psychology, which is the writing intensive course for my major, and because it's the writing intensive course, it counts as general education credit. I really honestly am not looking forward to that class. Like I said just a little bit ago, I want to be a therapist. I don't want to do research. I think research has its place, it has its importance, but that's not what I want to do, so it's kind of just like, I'm not looking forward to that. And like, I had to like go through the professors and check them out on ratemyprofessor.com, and most of them weren't so good. And like, one of them, someone in my class, one of my classes this semester said don't take it with him. And then another one was, there's someone I'm taking a class with this semester, and I really can't wait till that class is over because I hate it because he can't teach worth a damn. So I was like, no, I'm not going to take that. Which is why I'm probably going to wind up having to take it at 9:30 in the morning, twice a week. And then also on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm planning on taking medical sociology. The reason I'm going to take that is because for my sociology class, or my sociology minor, I have to take at least 9 credit hours of sociology at a 300 level or above, and that's sociology 312. So, and it sounded kind of interesting, and like, most of the classes that they had listed for the, like, in that range weren't very interesting, or like the time didn't work, or the professors kind of sucked massively. Yeah. Let me see, what else do I have? Oh yeah, Mondays, which I'm not really too thrilled about, because it's really long, from 5:30 to 8:20, communication and the LGBT community, which like I'd pretty much be taking just because it sounds interesting and to like get more credits, because I kind of need more credits so I can actually graduate on time. Tuesdays and Thursdays, again, 9:30 to 10:45. We'll see how that goes. Introduction to Culture and Anthropology, which I have to take for my sociology minor. Well, actually, I don't have to, but I can take it and have it count for my sociology minor and for general education. So it's like, why not? Just take it. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:45, fundamentals of acting. I'm not necessarily all that interested in acting, but again, it's for the general education requirements. Pretty much you have, like, they give you a list of classes that you can choose from, and you have to like make sure that you fulfill all the requirements. So I'm like, it doesn't sound like it should be that bad, and the professor apparently is really good, so yeah, I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting. And then Tuesdays from 2 to 3:15, astronomical investigations, which is an astronomy lab, and for general education you have to take an astronomy lecture and a lab, and I'm taking the lecture right now, but I couldn't fit the lab in. So yeah, I'm planning on taking that just so that I can be like, yes, one less thing I have to worry about for graduation. If I stick with that schedule, I'm going to have 17 credit hours, which I'm not necessarily all that happy about, but I was trying to get it so that it was, because if I didn't take, I think it was the communication and the LGBT community class, which is kind of just like I'm just taking to take, I was going to be at 14 credit hours. You have to have 12 to be considered full-time, so I wasn't worried about not being considered full-time. I just concerned about not getting enough credits to graduate on time. And if I actually take 17 credit hours after next semester, I'm only going to need, I think it was like 30 credits to graduate. So that would mean that if I don't take classes over the spring and summer, that next fall and the next winter, overall, I just need to take 30 credits. So I could take like 15 and 15, which would probably be like 5 3 credit hour classes. And I'm like, okay, that's good. because I want to make sure that I can actually graduate on time. And yeah, I'm kind of sick of undergrad. Not necessarily looking forward to graduate school or having to actually get a job or anything, but I don't know. I'm just sick of having to go to classes and do work, and it's just like a struggle, just because I've been not feeling all that great, so it's just like pretty much forcing myself to do it. And then this semester my classes, like I said, don't really make me happy or make me want to go to them for the most part, except for like one class that I really do like is my Cooperation and Conflict in Society class, which is a sociology class that I'm taking for my minor. And actually today, like, we were supposed to do negotiations, and it was supposed to be like, it was like a jam company, a family owned jam company, and we were supposed to do negotiations between the management and the employers, or the workers, because there's going to be a budget deficit or whatever. And one of the people in the workers group that, like, I was in the management group and we had to work with a group of workers, she took it like totally seriously, like flat out was like, no, like, she wasn't messing around at all. And so I wound up laughing my head off. And at one point, because she was like so just like sticking to her guns and just like pretty much didn't care, I was like, someone needs to call the police or call security, and I just yelled in the middle of the class, security. I was just like, yeah. I kind of maybe got into it a little bit too much too, but it was fun. So I like that class, but for the most part, won't really be sad for the semester to end. I'm just, at this point, I've pretty much come to the conclusion that as long as I actually pass my classes, I'm not gonna like try to worry too much about my GPA, or like how I do in my classes, especially because I've been kind of struggling and not feeling all that great, so that makes it hard. So I'm trying to not be like, oh my god, you have to get 100 and everything, or not necessarily 100, but an A and everything, and if you don't, the world's going to come to an end. And like, I'm trying to think more rationally and not just like be so emotional and like let my emotions get the best of me. Like, I got a test back today that I took on Thursday in my Intro to Environmental Science class, and because I didn't have my medication for 3 days, I was like totally out of it, just not in a good state of mind, exhausted, couldn't focus to study, and like I got the grade back and I wound up with a B, and I was like, I could have done better, but you know what, at least I passed it. At least I didn't get like a C or D or even an E. So I'm just like, you know what, like, given the circumstances, I'm alright with it. Like, yes, I could have done better, but there's no sense in beating myself up for it, because if I had been able to do more in terms of studying, I would have. So I just had to study more for the next test, because there are only 2 tests in that class. So I just need to study and actually do well. So, yeah. Alright. Sorry for rambling on. Yeah, I guess maybe I do need a therapist. I need someone to talk to. Unfortunately, I'm just like rambling on and on and on and on and on. Alright, take care and stay strong, everyone.